The Sun's transit into Virgo from September 17th to October 17th, 2025, carries a distinct energy of precision, practicality, and grounded analysis. It's important to highlight that these interpretations are drawn from sidereal or Vedic astrology, which considers a roughly 24-degree variance from the tropical zodiac. Virgo, an earth sign ruled by Mercury, represents order, refinement, service, and a methodical approach to life's challenges. When the Sun enters this sign, the collective focus naturally turns toward improving routines, attending to health, and refining systems that may have grown chaotic in previous months. This year's transit is especially significant because it includes a solar eclipse on September 21, 2025, in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, an event that amplifies Virgo's themes and invites us to reevaluate the structures, commitments, and details that shape our lives. Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, symbolized by the back legs of a bed, is strongly connected to contracts, responsibilities, and generosity. It emphasizes maintaining integrity in commitments and nurturing relationships that require devotion and effort. A solar eclipse in this nakshatra suggests that the universe may present circumstances forcing us to review promises or obligations. This could mean revisiting professional contracts, redefining personal boundaries, or recommitting to values that sustain long-term stability. Because eclipses obscure the sun's light, clarity may feel elusive in the days surrounding the event. Acting impulsively could lead to regret, so it is wiser to observe the unfolding changes without rushing to conclusions. The sun's presence in Virgo under these conditions brings attention to the small details that are often overlooked but are essential for success. This is a time to notice inefficiencies in daily routines, work processes, or personal habits and to approach solutions systematically. The Virgo sun also highlights the connection between physical well-being and mental clarity. For many, this month may inspire renewed focus on health, fitness, and nutrition, especially if earlier in the year these areas were neglected. Virgo's analytical energy helps in discerning what truly works rather than clinging to outdated methods. The influence of exalted Mercury, also in Virgo at this time, intensifies the intellectual and communicative qualities of this transit. Mercury and the Sun together in Virgo can sharpen analytical skills, support careful planning, and encourage problem-solving through logic and evidence. This alignment is excellent for research, editing, negotiations, and any task requiring mental discipline. This eclipse warns against overthinking or being overly critical of oneself and others. Virgo energy can easily tip into perfectionism, and the obscuring effect of the eclipse may exaggerate doubts or insecurities. Recognizing when to pause and give perspective is essential. Adding another layer of complexity, Saturn retrogrades in Pisces, directly opposing Virgo. Saturn's aspect during the Sun's transit suggests that responsibilities, delays, or karmic lessons could arise, particularly in areas connected to work-life balance, service, and spiritual growth. This opposition calls for maturity and patience, reminding us that lasting results are built through consistent effort and humility. It can also create situations where we are tested in our dedication to ethical choices or long-term goals. Rather than resisting Saturn's challenges, embracing discipline and a realistic perspective will help navigate this transit more smoothly. The nodal axis also plays an important role. Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus and Rahu in Aquarius create an undercurrent of karmic redirection. Ketu's influence in Leo indicates a need to release ego-driven pursuits or excessive attachment to validation, while Rahu in Aquarius pushes collective evolution toward humanitarian concerns, innovation, and community engagement. The Virgo Sun, acting between these nodes, becomes a point where personal refinement aligns with broader social responsibilities. The eclipse could reveal where ego must give way to service, where outdated personal dramas must be released to make room for greater purpose. The days around the solar eclipse are also traditionally considered less favorable for beginning significant projects, signing contracts, or making major life decisions. The eclipse energy tends to bring unfinished matters to the surface, and the full picture rarely emerges until the shadow passes. Observing events with detachment and gathering information without acting immediately will allow for better decisions later in the month. After the eclipse's intensity subsides, Virgo's energy becomes excellent for implementing practical solutions and taking disciplined action. On a personal and spiritual level, the Sun's transit in Virgo can bring moments of self-awareness regarding health, service, and humility. The eclipse magnifies this by revealing areas where we may have been neglecting responsibilities or avoiding necessary changes. This is an ideal time to establish or refine spiritual practices, including meditation or acts of service, to align with Virgo's theme of meaningful contribution. At the collective level, the solar eclipse in Virgo may bring attention to global issues related to healthcare, labor, environmental practices, or organizational reform. Events around this time could highlight inefficiencies in systems or expose the need for greater accountability in service-related fields. Governments, institutions, or leaders may be prompted to adjust their approaches, particularly in areas affecting daily life or public welfare. As the Sun continues its journey through Virgo after the eclipse, the energy gradually stabilizes, offering clarity and direction. The latter part of this transit is particularly good for finalizing plans, making practical adjustments, and committing to routines that promote long-term growth. By October 17th, many will find they have a clearer sense of priorities and a renewed commitment to self-improvement and service. To accurately assess the impact of these events, consider both your ascendant and moon signs. The ascendant sign provides insights into the timing of life events, while the moon sign reveals how you'll emotionally respond to these changes. Also, consider the position of your current Mahadasha Lord in your birth chart, as it can shed light on how these transits will influence the recurring themes of your dasha period. The specific outcomes will depend on your individual dasha and how these events interact with your natal planetary placements. Those under Rahu, Ketu, Sun, or Moon dasha periods can feel the effects of eclipses with the greatest intensity. Remember, the impact of eclipses varies for each person. Eclipse seasons aren't the most auspicious times to begin new projects, navigate complex relationships, make major career moves, or take other significant material decisions. They have historically been viewed as inauspicious events, often associated with negative omens for worldly matters. Instead, eclipse seasons offer an excellent opportunity to retreat, meditate, and delve into your inner world. They provide a unique chance to connect with your spiritual side. Be aware, though, that eclipse seasons can be quite turbulent, particularly in the days between a lunar and a solar eclipse. It's essential to determine whether an eclipse will be visible in your location, as its effects tend to be more pronounced where it can be seen. However, the true outcomes of these events usually become apparent over the next 6 months. Whether these outcomes prove favorable or unfavorable largely depends on your current dasha. If you face challenges during this eclipse season, remember that events may unfold and become clearer in the months ahead. Now that we have this context, let's dive into the predictions for each zodiac sign for the solar eclipse. For Aries, the upcoming solar eclipse takes place in Virgo, activating your 6th house, the domain of work, health, service, and overcoming obstacles. Since the Sun rules your 5th house of creativity, children, romance, and speculative gains, this eclipse weaves together themes of personal expression and practical responsibility. The Sun's presence in the 6th house naturally heightens your awareness of routines, beauties, and wellness. Solar eclipses often act as reset points, revealing what has been overlooked and prompting decisive action. Over the coming weeks, Aries individuals may feel compelled to reorganize their daily schedules, address lingering workplace challenges, or focus on improving their physical health and productivity. The Sun's transit through Virgo in your 6th house can initially bring a sense of authority at work. You may feel more assertive with colleagues or eager to take charge of projects. Eclipses can temporarily obscure clarity, so avoid reacting impulsively or pushing your agenda without considering the bigger picture. Instead, use this period to identify inefficiencies or unhealthy patterns, whether in your job or lifestyle. If you have been procrastinating on tasks or ignoring health signals, this eclipse could deliver a wake-up call. For example, lingering health issues may resurface, urging you to seek treatment or adopt healthier habits. It's a powerful time to establish a disciplined approach to exercise, diet, and stress management, setting the foundation for long-term well-being. This solar eclipse falls in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, a star associated with commitments, agreements, and performing one's duties with integrity. For Aries individuals, this influence may prompt you to reflect on how you uphold your obligations, both in your work environment and personal life. You might be called to step up and take responsibility in situations where you previously avoided it. There could also be opportunities to mend strained professional relationships or honor promises made to others. Uttara Phalguni energy encourages you to act with fairness and reliability, reminding you that consistent effort builds lasting rewards. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo adds an important layer to this eclipse. Mercury's exaltation sharpens analytical thinking, communication, and attention to detail. This is an excellent time to assess your work methods, budget, or health routines critically. You might find yourself revising plans, renegotiating contracts, or improving communication with colleagues. Because eclipses can bring temporary confusion, it's best to wait a few days after the eclipse before finalizing important decisions or signing agreements. Exalted Mercury also suggests that solutions to current challenges will emerge through practical problem solving and precise communication rather than impulsive action. Retrograde Saturn from Pisces aspects Virgo, adding a karmic and reflective tone to this eclipse. Saturn's influence emphasizes discipline, accountability, and patience. You may feel pressure to confront unfinished business, especially related to work, health, or service to others. This could involve revisiting past mistakes or reconsidering strategies that no longer serve you. Saturn's retrograde motion encourages you to review your commitments carefully and ensure that your actions align with your long-term goals. While Saturn's aspect may feel restrictive or demanding, it is ultimately supportive, guiding you towards sustainable growth and responsible choices. Jupiter, currently transiting Gemini in your third house, provides optimism and opportunities for learning and communication during this period. This placement encourages you to seek advice from mentors, expand your knowledge, or engage in meaningful conversations with siblings or peers. Jupiter's presence can help balance the intensity of the eclipse by offering broader perspective and hope. Its influence also suggests that developing new skills or improving your communication style could positively impact your work and relationships. The nodal axis, Rahu in Aquarius and Ketu in Leo, further shapes the energy of this eclipse. Rahu in your 11th house stimulates ambition for gains, social connections, and recognition, while Ketu in your 5th house conjunct Venus encourages detachment from ego-driven pursuits in romance or creative expression. These nodes remind you to focus on practical achievements and service rather than seeking validation solely through personal pride or speculative ventures. Mars, your ruling planet, is transiting Libra in your 7th house during this eclipse. This placement can bring intensity to partnerships, whether personal or professional. You might experience disagreements or power struggles with a spouse, business partner, or close ally. While Mars can stir tensions, it also gives you the courage to confront issues openly and work toward compromise. Be mindful of projecting frustrations from work or health matters onto relationships. Direct your assertive energy toward collaborative problem solving instead. Financially, this eclipse may bring attention to debts, expenses, or shared responsibilities. The 6th house relates to financial obligations, and the Sun's transit here can highlight areas where adjustments are needed. Avoid risky investments or impulsive spending during this time, especially since the 5th house rulership of the Sun also touches speculative ventures. Instead, focus on long-term financial planning and clearing outstanding dues. For Aries individuals, this eclipse is an invitation to approach challenges with grace and determination. You may find that acts of service or charitable work provide unexpected fulfillment and clarity. Helping others or volunteering can be especially rewarding now, as the Uttara Phalguni's energy emphasizes fairness and generosity. At the same time, ensure you maintain healthy boundaries. Avoid taking on more than you can handle simply to prove yourself. In your personal life, this transit may prompt you to evaluate how daily habits affect your overall well-being and relationships. Small but consistent changes, whether in communication, self-care, or organization, can create a ripple effect of positive transformation. This is also an excellent time to seek guidance from mentors, health professionals, or spiritual teachers who can offer insights grounded in wisdom and experience. As the eclipse energy unfolds, it's important to remain patient. Eclipses are not times for immediate action or final decisions. Instead, they reveal truths that may take weeks or months to fully integrate. Allow situations to evolve naturally and avoid forcing outcomes. With exalted Mercury offering analytical clarity, Saturn providing discipline, and Jupiter supplying optimism, you are well supported to navigate this period thoughtfully. Overall, the solar eclipse in Virgo signals a powerful reset for Aries individuals in the areas of work, health, and service. It asks you to refine your routines, honor your commitments, and confront obstacles with courage and humility. By embracing disciplined effort and practical solutions, you can turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Relationships and financial matters may also demand your attention, but through patience, fairness, and clear communication, you can emerge from this period with greater stability, stronger connections, and a renewed sense of purpose. For Taurus, the solar eclipse occurs in Virgo, activating your 5th house, the sphere of creativity, romance, children, and education. As the Sun rules your 4th house of emotional stability, home, and family matters, its transit through the 5th house creates a bridge between your emotional world and the expression of your personal passions. Eclipses in the 5th house often mark pivotal moments in matters of the heart or creative self-expression. This one may prompt you to reevaluate how you nurture your talents, guide your children, or engage with romantic partners. Because solar eclipses reveal truths or bring hidden matters into the light, expect revelations that reshape your understanding of your own joy and purpose. The Sun's presence in Virgo during this eclipse brings a serious, detail-oriented energy to your creative or romantic pursuits. Virgo is an earth sign known for precision, discernment, and service-oriented energy. This influence can make you approach fifth house matters with practicality, whether that's revising creative projects to perfection, taking a more disciplined approach to your children's education, or having frank conversations with a romantic partner about the future. Eclipses also temporarily obscure the sun's light, which means clarity may be limited during this exact moment. It is wiser to observe unfolding events and wait for a few days before making big commitments or drastic changes. The sun's rulership of your fourth house suggests that issues related to your home or emotional security could directly influence your creative expression or romantic life. For example, a family-related decision might impact your ability to focus on your studies or hobbies. Alternatively, changes in your creative work or relationship could prompt adjustments within your home or living situation. This link between the fourth and fifth houses can also manifest as a greater desire to make your home a place of inspiration. Perhaps you'll redecorate a creative workspace or start a family project that deepens emotional bonds. The solar eclipse takes place in the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, which is symbolized by the back legs of a bed and is associated with commitments, responsibility, and generosity. This nakshatra carries a message of upholding agreements and acting with integrity. For Taurus people, this suggests that any developments related to children, romance, or creativity during this period may require a long-term commitment or a mature approach. You might need to make decisions that benefit not only yourself but also those you care for, even if doing so demands patience or sacrifice. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo intensifies the intellectual and analytical qualities of this eclipse. Mercury, being exalted, enhances your ability to think critically, communicate effectively, and refine your ideas. This is an excellent period for planning creative projects, researching educational opportunities for yourself or your children, or writing down romantic intentions and goals. Because eclipses can distort perception, it is advisable to finalize decisions or launch major initiatives after the eclipse energy settles. This planetary combination also suggests that a well-thought-out discussion or a written plan could help you resolve conflicts or confusion in relationships or academic matters. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces aspects Virgo from your 11th house, adding a layer of seriousness and karmic evaluation to this eclipse. Saturn's influence from the house of networks and long-term goals may push you to reflect on whether your creative or romantic pursuits align with your larger aspirations and social responsibilities. You may feel pressure to approach love, friendships, or group affiliations with greater maturity. Saturn's aspect can also create temporary delays or challenges in creative projects or with children, but these are meant to guide you towards sustainable growth rather than quick fixes. Jupiter's transit through Gemini in your second house provides a supportive influence, particularly in financial and family matters. Jupiter here encourages you to build stable values and seek opportunities to expand your resources. Its presence suggests that even if the eclipse brings some uncertainty, you are supported in creating long-term stability, especially if you take a thoughtful and ethical approach to finances and family decisions. This can indirectly ease any tension in your creative or romantic life, as a solid foundation often supports emotional expression. The nodal axis, with Rahu in Aquarius and Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus, also influences this eclipse strongly. Rahu in your 10th house is driving ambition in your career and public life, while Ketu in your 4th house with Venus invites detachment from purely comfort-driven or domestic concerns. These placements encourage you to find a balance between your professional aspirations and your private life. You may realize that your creative passions or relationships must evolve to support your larger life goals rather than conflict with them. Your ruling planet Venus conjunct Ketu in Leo indicates that matters of love and pleasure may feel unusually karmic or fated during this time. Old romantic patterns or unresolved feelings could resurface, giving you an opportunity to release attachments that no longer serve you. Alternatively, you may meet someone whose presence feels destined, but the full meaning of the connection may take time to unfold. Financially, this eclipse could prompt you to reassess speculative investments, children's expenses, or spending on hobbies and entertainment. It may be a good idea to take a conservative approach to financial decisions until the eclipse energy stabilizes. Instead of gambling on uncertain outcomes, focus on long-term plans and building security through steady effort. On a spiritual level, the 5th house also governs spiritual learning. This eclipse could encourage you to deepen your connection to practices that bring inner peace or to explore teachings that inspire your soul. If you've been feeling creatively blocked or uncertain about your romantic future, engaging in meditation or spiritual study may provide the clarity you seek. In your relationships, you may feel compelled to define where things are heading or to address unresolved issues. Romantic interactions could become more serious or introspective, especially with Saturn's aspect adding a karmic tone. Conversations may reveal underlying concerns, but with patience and honesty, you can build stronger, more meaningful connections. Overall, this solar eclipse in Virgo invites Taurus individuals to re-examine how they express joy, love, and creativity. It asks you to balance practical concerns with heartfelt desires, to commit to what truly matters, and to let go of superficial distractions. By approaching this period with patience, discernment, and integrity, you can transform challenges into opportunities for deeper fulfillment, both in your creative pursuits and in the bonds you share with those you love. For Gemini, the solar eclipse occurs in Virgo, which activates the fourth house of home, family, mother, emotional foundations, real estate, and inner peace. The Sun, ruler of your third house of communication, siblings, initiative, and short journeys, is being eclipsed in this sensitive house. This event signals a period of introspection and possible changes regarding your home environment, emotional security, or family dynamics. With the Sun's light temporarily dimmed, you may experience moments of uncertainty or emotional restlessness. Eclipses are reset points. Though they may initially bring confusion or sudden events, their purpose is to guide you toward greater authenticity and balance. The fourth house represents your roots, comfort, and emotional sanctuary. When the Sun transits here, it typically draws your attention inward, highlighting domestic matters or the need to establish a stable foundation. During an eclipse, this inward focus can feel unsettling. You might question your role within the family, your living situation, or even the sense of security you've built for yourself. This could manifest as sudden shifts, such as considering a relocation, rethinking real estate investments, or addressing issues with your mother or parental figures. Because the Sun loses its Digbala, directional strength, in the fourth house, its natural vitality and authority can feel weakened here, making you more sensitive to emotional fluctuations or family tensions. The eclipse takes place in the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, a star associated with agreements, commitments, and sustaining relationships. For you, this suggests that long-term commitments related to your domestic life, family responsibilities, or property may require reassessment. You may be called to honor promises you've made within the household, but you might also recognize that some agreements no longer serve your emotional growth. This nakshatra's influence encourages you to align your domestic life with your deeper values, even if that requires renegotiation or restructuring. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo intensifies the intellectual and analytical energy of this eclipse. Mercury rules both your first house, Gemini, and your fourth house ruler, Virgo, making this conjunction especially significant. Mercury's exaltation sharpens your mind, but because it is combust, overpowered by the Sun's rays, its clarity is temporarily obscured. You might overanalyze family matters or struggle with miscommunication at home. Avoid making impulsive decisions regarding property or emotional commitments during the days surrounding the eclipse. Once Mercury emerges from combustion, you will gain the mental clarity needed to make informed choices about your home and emotional well-being. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces aspects Virgo from your 10th house, adding a karmic dimension to this eclipse. Saturn's aspect suggests that professional responsibilities or career delays may indirectly influence your domestic life. You might feel torn between meeting professional obligations and nurturing your home environment. Saturn's retrograde motion indicates that past choices or unfinished responsibilities could resurface, requiring patience and discipline. This aspect serves as a reminder to balance your outer ambitions with your inner stability. Jupiter's transit in Gemini, your first house, is a blessing during this time. Jupiter provides wisdom, optimism, and spiritual insight, even as the eclipse temporarily unsettles your emotions. Its presence in your first house suggests that you can approach these changes with maturity and faith. Jupiter's expansive influence helps you view domestic challenges as opportunities for growth, reminding you that stability begins within yourself, not merely in your external circumstances. The broader eclipse season is also shaped by Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 3rd house and Rahu in Aquarius in your 9th house. Ketu's conjunction with Venus suggests detachment, or changes in relationships with siblings, neighbors, or your immediate community. You might feel less drawn to casual socializing or reevaluate how you communicate affection. Rahu in your 9th house keeps your focus on higher learning, philosophy, or distant travel, pushing you to seek meaning beyond familiar surroundings. These nodal positions underline a balancing act between exploring new horizons, Rahu in Aquarius, and maintaining emotional security at home, eclipse in Virgo. Romantic and creative energy may also be subtly influenced during this period. Because the Sun rules your 3rd house of initiative and communication, Its eclipse in the fourth could lead you to pull back temporarily from social interactions or short trips. You may feel a stronger need to retreat into solitude or focus on family matters rather than outward pursuits. This introspection can be highly productive if you allow yourself the time to process feelings rather than forcing quick solutions. Your relationship with your mother or maternal figures could come to the forefront. The fourth house represents the mother, and an eclipse here can bring sudden revelations or changes regarding her health, emotional needs, or your shared relationship. This is a good time to show care and attentiveness, even if misunderstandings arise. The eclipse may also bring awareness of generational patterns within your family, offering you an opportunity to break cycles or heal long-standing emotional wounds. Property and real estate matters are highlighted but should be approached with caution. Eclipses are not considered favorable for signing contracts or making major financial commitments. If you are considering buying or selling a property, wait until the eclipse energies settle. Saturn's aspect further suggests that any decisions about property or relocation should be taken with patience, thorough planning, and long-term vision. Emotionally, you might experience mood swings or a desire for solitude. The sun's temporary obscuration can feel like an emotional eclipse within, making it harder to feel confident or secure. This is not a sign of permanent instability, but an invitation to reconnect with your inner resilience. Spiritual practices such as meditation or connecting with nature can help you regain emotional balance. In the weeks following the eclipse, as Mercury regains its strength and the sun moves steadily through Virgo, you will notice greater clarity about your home and emotional foundations. New insights may emerge about how to create a more harmonious domestic environment, or how to balance your professional and personal lives. You may feel inspired to redecorate your home, reconnect with family traditions, or establish healthier emotional boundaries. Overall, the solar eclipse in Virgo represents a powerful turning point for Gemini individuals. It asks you to reassess your emotional foundations, family dynamics, and living situation. While the days surrounding the eclipse may bring temporary confusion or emotional sensitivity, the long-term effects are transformative and constructive. By balancing your domestic responsibilities with your personal ambitions, and by seeking wisdom rather than reacting impulsively, you will find that this eclipse helps you create a more stable and nurturing environment for yourself. For Cancer, the solar eclipse occurs in Virgo, activating the third house of communication, siblings, courage, skills, short journeys, and networking. The sun, which rules your second house of wealth, speech, and family values, is being eclipsed here. This suggests a powerful period of recalibration in how you express yourself, connect with your immediate environment, and pursue personal growth through effort and learning. Solar eclipses are moments of reset, where old patterns give way to new directions, and for Cancer individuals, this one emphasizes the power of words, information, and action. When the sun transits the third house, it often sharpens your communication style and gives you a sense of authority in speech. You may naturally take the lead in discussions, offer guidance, or share your knowledge with siblings, friends, or your local community. Because the sun's light is temporarily obscured during the eclipse, your confidence in expressing yourself might waver. You could feel uncertain about how your words are being received or second-guess decisions about projects and collaborations. It's important to remember that such confusion is temporary. As the eclipse energy settles, you will discover new, more authentic ways to communicate and share your ideas. This eclipse occurs in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, a star associated with agreements, commitments, and sustaining relationships. Its influence in your third house may bring situations where you must honor your promises to siblings, neighbors, or close friends, or reconsider agreements that no longer align with your values. You may realize that your communication habits or the people you network with need to change to support your personal growth. The nakshatra's energy also highlights generosity and service, suggesting that acts of kindness or mentoring could open new doors for you once the eclipse energies stabilize. The presence of exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo intensifies this focus on communication, learning, and information exchange. Mercury rules both your third house and your 12th house, Gemini and Virgo for Cancer individuals, and its exaltation sharpens your analytical thinking. Because Mercury is combust, overwhelmed by the sun's rays, there may be temporary miscommunications or mental overload. You might be drawn to teaching, counseling, writing, or public speaking, but it would be wise to delay launching major projects or making significant announcements until a few days after the eclipse. Once Mercury emerges from combustion, your mental clarity and verbal expression will strengthen, making it a powerful time to share your ideas with confidence. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces casts its aspect on Virgo, adding a karmic layer to this eclipse. From your 9th house, Saturn's influence suggests that themes of higher learning, beliefs, and ethics will shape how you express yourself locally and interpersonally. You may feel the weight of responsibility in communication, perhaps needing to give serious advice to a sibling or feeling obligated to use your voice for a greater purpose. Saturn's retrograde motion also points to unfinished matters or lessons from the past that resurface now. Perhaps a sibling relationship or a long-standing communication issue needs closure or restructuring. This is a time for patience, discipline, and measured effort, even when circumstances feel slow or frustrating. Jupiter transiting Gemini in your 12th house acts as a hidden blessing. Jupiter's presence suggests that, while much of the eclipse's activity is visible in your daily life, spiritual insights or behind-the-scenes opportunities are quietly supporting you. Dreams, meditation, or time spent in solitude could yield profound realizations. Jupiter also encourages compassion in communication, reminding you to choose your words with kindness, even when emotions run high during the eclipse period. The eclipse season's nodal positions, Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 2nd house and Rahu in Aquarius in your 8th house, add further layers of meaning. Ketu's conjunction with Venus may prompt detachment from material comforts or shifting family values. You might reevaluate your relationship with money, possessions, or even your self-worth. Rahu in the 8th house points toward transformations, shared resources, and deep emotional growth. Together with the eclipse in Virgo, these placements suggest that communication and financial matters may intersect, perhaps through discussions about family inheritance, shared resources, or emotional transparency within close partnerships. Your interactions with siblings, neighbors, or coworkers may be particularly highlighted. Because the 3rd house represents courage and effort, you may feel called to take initiative in areas where you've hesitated before. Whether this is about improving a skill, pursuing a creative idea, or strengthening bonds with your community, the eclipse serves as a catalyst. Still, patience is essential. Eclipses often obscure the full picture until weeks later. Avoid confrontations or making hasty decisions about relationships or projects until the energies settle. Short journeys or travel plans might be affected. You could experience sudden changes in itineraries, delays, or the need to travel unexpectedly. Rather than viewing these disruptions as setbacks, consider them part of the eclipse's purpose, redirecting you toward experiences or knowledge you truly need. The influence of Virgo emphasizes precision and attention to detail, so double-check arrangements and avoid overloading your schedule. The Sun's rulership of your 2nd house connects this eclipse to themes of financial stability, speech, and family values. You may question your approach to earning or how you manage family resources. Perhaps you've been holding on to outdated attitudes about money or security, and this eclipse will help you release them. It may also bring moments where your speech or advice has a profound effect on others. Be mindful of the power your words carry. Emotionally, this solar eclipse invites you to examine your communication. The 3rd house not only governs outward communication but also the way you talk to yourself. Virgo's analytical nature can sometimes lead to overthinking or self-criticism, and with Mercury combust during the eclipse, you may be prone to doubt. In the days and weeks following the eclipse, as the Sun continues its transit through Virgo and Mercury regains its strength, you will begin to see where changes are necessary. New opportunities in learning, teaching, or local networking may arise. You could discover a more authentic voice, one that reflects both your values and your emotional maturity. This period can ultimately strengthen your relationships with siblings, neighbors, or colleagues and help you develop the courage to pursue new skills or ventures. Ultimately, the solar eclipse in Virgo represents a turning point for Cancer individuals in communication, learning, and connection. Though the days around the eclipse may bring uncertainty or emotional shifts, the long-term effect is empowering. By allowing outdated ways of speaking or thinking to fall away, you make space for more constructive, confident self-expression. Over the next several months, this eclipse will guide you toward deeper, more meaningful conversations, stronger bonds with your community, and the courage to act on ideas that once seemed out of reach. For Leo, the solar eclipse falls in Virgo, activating your 2nd house of finances, speech, values, and family matters. The Sun is your chart ruler, symbolizing your identity, vitality, and life purpose. When the Sun is eclipsed in your 2nd house, it signals a powerful period of evaluation concerning your material security, self-worth, and the way you communicate within your family and community. Eclipses represent endings and beginnings, moments where old patterns dissolve so that new opportunities can emerge. This event will likely trigger deep introspection about your approach to money, possessions, and the values that shape your choices. The 2nd house is not just about wealth, it is also about the voice you use and the values you stand for. With the Sun transiting here, your focus naturally turns to providing for your loved ones, ensuring stability, and asserting yourself through your words. You may feel an urge to take charge of financial matters or to project authority in family discussions. Because the sun is temporarily obscured, there may be moments of doubt or external circumstances that challenge your sense of security. This could manifest as a delay in payments, unexpected expenses, or conversations within your family that require careful navigation. This eclipse takes place in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, which is strongly associated with agreements, commitments, and long-term responsibilities. Its influence on your second house suggests that financial partnerships, family obligations, or promises regarding resources may need to be revisited. You might be called to reassess whether certain financial habits or relationships align with your long-term stability. This nakshatra also carries themes of generosity and sustaining bonds, so acts of support toward family or community could bring blessings once the eclipse's destabilizing energy settles. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo sharpens your analytical and practical skills, especially regarding budgeting, communication, and negotiations. Mercury's exaltation makes this a period where financial planning or learning new money management strategies can benefit you. Adding another layer, retrograde Saturn in Pisces aspects Virgo from your 8th house of shared resources, debts, and transformation. This suggests that financial responsibilities tied to others, such as taxes, loans, inheritances, or shared accounts, may feel heavy or require restructuring. Saturn retrograde often revisits old karmic themes, so you might need to resolve lingering obligations or renegotiate arrangements with a spouse, business partner, or family member. While Saturn's influence can initially feel restrictive, it ultimately brings discipline and maturity to your approach, ensuring that any changes you make now support long-term stability. Jupiter transiting Gemini in your 11th house of gains, networks, and aspirations offers a protective influence. Even if the eclipse stirs temporary financial or emotional instability, Jupiter's expansive energy suggests that your social connections, friends, or professional networks could provide opportunities or encouragement. This is a favorable time to seek advice from mentors or trusted friends about financial or career goals, though you should wait until after the eclipse's effects settle before acting. Jupiter also reminds you to maintain a broader perspective. Financial shifts now may ultimately steer you toward more meaningful or sustainable sources of income. Ketu in Leo, conjunct Venus in your 1st house, may prompt detachment from superficial aspects of self-image or appearances. You might find yourself less interested in impressing others and more focused on authentic self-expression. Venus here softens Ketu's detachment, suggesting that refining your personal style or values could improve your relationships. Rahu in Aquarius in your 7th house places focus on partnerships and collaborations. Events around the eclipse may prompt conversations about shared resources or values within your relationships. This could be a time when a partner's financial situation influences yours or when a shared dream or responsibility requires renegotiation. Your speech and communication style may also come under the spotlight. The 2nd house governs how you express yourself verbally, and with the Sun eclipsed here, you may feel unusually cautious or uncertain in your words. Alternatively, you might experience moments of forcefulness or authority in speech that could unintentionally come across as domineering. Being mindful of tone and timing in conversations, especially with family, will help avoid misunderstandings. The combination of Mercury's exaltation and Virgo's precision suggests that careful, well-thought-out communication after the eclipse will enhance your credibility and relationships. Family matters could surface prominently during this time. There may be discussions about inheritance, land, or shared assets, or perhaps emotional issues that have been simmering below the surface will demand attention. Here its light is obscured, reminds you to lead with humility rather than ego. Offering support and listening rather than trying to control situations can lead to healing and mutual respect within your family circle. Materially, you may feel motivated to reassess your earning strategies or consider multiple income streams. The Virgo energy encourages detailed planning and practical action, but eclipses are not ideal for immediate implementation. Use the days following the eclipse to research investments, explore side projects, or set realistic savings goals. This period may also inspire you to align your finances with your values, perhaps by supporting causes you care about or finding work that feels meaningful rather than purely profitable. Your health and well-being are indirectly linked to this transit as well. The 2nd house connects to the face, mouth, and throat, so issues related to diet, speech, or oral health may need attention. Virgo's analytical energy could make you hyper-aware of small details in your physical or financial life, leading to unnecessary worry if left unchecked. Instead of falling into perfectionism, focus on small, manageable steps to improve your situation. The weeks following the eclipse will gradually reveal the new direction that these changes are guiding you toward. As the Sun regains its strength in Virgo and Mercury clears combustion, you'll likely notice increased confidence in handling finances, a refined communication style, and a renewed sense of self-worth. The influence of Saturn ensures that the adjustments you make now, though perhaps demanding, will be durable and beneficial in the long run. Overall, the solar eclipse in Virgo represents a pivotal moment for Leo individuals to reassess their relationship with money, family, and values. While the days around the eclipse may bring temporary uncertainty or emotional sensitivity, this energy is ultimately constructive. It is clearing away outdated financial habits, unhealthy attachments, or communication patterns that no longer serve you. By approaching this period with patience, humility, and a willingness to learn, you will emerge stronger, more grounded, and better aligned with your long-term goals. Over the coming months, expect opportunities to refine your financial strategies, strengthen family bonds, and speak with a renewed sense of purpose and authority. For Virgo, the solar eclipse occurs in your first house of self, identity, health, and life direction, making it one of the most impactful eclipses for Virgo individuals in recent years. The Sun, which rules your 12th house of isolation, spirituality, subconscious patterns, and hidden matters, is being eclipsed in your own sign. This marks a powerful turning point in how you see yourself, present yourself to the world, and approach your personal goals. Eclipses in the first house are deeply personal. They challenge you to shed outdated aspects of your personality and take a fresh step forward in your life path. The Sun transiting your first house naturally makes you the center of attention. You may feel a heightened awareness of your appearance, health, and the way others perceive you. Normally, this is a time when confidence and vitality increase, but because the Sun is eclipsed, you may instead feel vulnerable, uncertain, or even invisible for a brief period. This temporary dimming of the Sun's light serves a purpose. It's asking you to reevaluate how much of your identity is based on external validation versus authenticity. You might question whether the image you project truly reflects your values or whether your life path aligns with your deeper spiritual purpose. This eclipse falls in the Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, a star connected to commitments, agreements, and the sustaining of relationships. For you, this suggests that redefining your commitments to yourself, your health, and the people close to you will be a central theme. You may need to adjust boundaries or promises you've made, especially if they've been draining your energy or distracting you from your personal growth. The Uttara Phalguni's influence encourages generosity and responsibility, so the changes you make now can strengthen the bonds that matter most in the long term. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo adds intellectual clarity to this period, though Mercury is combust and overshadowed by the Sun's brilliance. Mercury is your chart ruler, so this conjunction is particularly significant. It highlights your mental sharpness, communication style, and analytical skills. Yet the combustion suggests temporary confusion or self-doubt. You may find yourself overthinking decisions, second-guessing your choices, or becoming overly critical of your own progress. Avoid major new ventures or declarations of intent on the day of the eclipse itself. Adding a karmic weight to these themes is retrograde Saturn in Pisces, casting its direct aspect onto Virgo from your 7th house of partnerships. This aspect links your evolving self-image to your closest relationships. Saturn retrograde often revisits unfinished lessons, so dynamics with a spouse, business partner, or significant others may resurface for evaluation. You might be called to take greater responsibility in a relationship, redefine the balance of power, or let go of connections that no longer align with who you are becoming. Saturn's influence is not punitive but constructive. By facing these realities with maturity, you set the stage for more stable and fulfilling partnerships. Jupiter transiting Gemini in your 10th house offers a protective and uplifting influence on your career and public image. Even if you feel temporarily disoriented during the eclipse, Jupiter suggests that professional opportunities and supportive mentors are within reach. You may receive guidance or inspiration related to your career path, though it's best to wait until the eclipse energy settles before acting on big changes. The lunar nodes, Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 12th house and Rahu in Aquarius in your 6th house, add more nuance. Ketu's presence in your 12th house encourages spiritual detachment, retreat, or the release of subconscious baggage. Conjunct Venus, this could mean reevaluating hidden desires or private relationships that have been affecting your peace of mind. You may feel drawn to meditation, therapy, or creative solitude as a way to process these shifts. Rahu in Aquarius in your 6th house pushes you to develop better routines, address health issues, and refine your approach to work and service. The eclipse in your 1st house serves as a bridge between these nodal influences, suggesting that improving your health, refining your identity, and letting go of old emotional patterns will lead to tangible improvements in your daily life and well-being. Health is a major focus of a 1st house eclipse. If you've been ignoring symptoms or overworking yourself, this transit may bring your attention to the need for self-care. Virgo's natural inclination toward perfectionism and service can sometimes lead you to prioritize others' needs over your own. The eclipse reminds you that maintaining your physical and emotional well-being is not selfish. It's essential for your long-term effectiveness and happiness. Even small adjustments in diet, exercise, or stress management routines can have a profound effect now. Emotionally, you may feel sensitive or introspective. Encounters with others might reflect back to you aspects of yourself that you've been unwilling to acknowledge. Because the sun rules your 12th house, this eclipse could also bring hidden matters to light, whether through dreams, intuitive insights, or revelations about situations you were unaware of. Pay attention to the subtle messages that arise around this time, as they may guide you toward necessary changes. In the days immediately surrounding the eclipse, it's wise to avoid impulsive decisions regarding your appearance, health routines, or personal identity. Eclipses are moments of energetic turbulence, and what seems urgent in the moment may look very different once the energy stabilizes. Instead, use this time for reflection and planning. Your relationships with others will also evolve in response to this eclipse. Saturn's aspect from Pisces suggests that those closest to you may challenge your new sense of self or require reassurance as you grow and change. Some partnerships may need renegotiation to maintain balance. Others may deepen as you show up with more authenticity and integrity. Being open to honest conversations while maintaining healthy boundaries will serve you well. The Virgo energy of this eclipse encourages precision, analysis, and practicality. Use these qualities to your advantage by reviewing your goals, habits, and personal values. While change can be uncomfortable, the sun's rebirth after the eclipse signals that stepping into your authenticity will bring long-term rewards. As the weeks unfold, you may notice subtle shifts in how others respond to you. Your personal magnetism may increase, and opportunities to showcase your skills or take on leadership roles could emerge. Ultimately, the solar eclipse in Virgo marks the beginning of a new chapter for you. It's an invitation to redefine your identity, align your life path with your higher values, and care for your health and well-being. Though the eclipse itself may feel destabilizing or bring moments of self-doubt, its purpose is constructive, to help you shed what no longer serves you so that you can step forward with clarity and purpose. By embracing self-awareness, honoring your commitments, and patiently integrating these changes, you'll emerge from this period more confident, resilient, and attuned to your true calling. Over the coming months, expect your personal magnetism to grow, your goals to sharpen, and your sense of self to become both clearer and more empowered. For Libra, the solar eclipse occurs in Virgo, your 12th house of spirituality, isolation, foreign lands, subconscious patterns, and hidden matters. The sun, ruler of your 11th house of ambitions, social networks, and long-term gains, is being eclipsed in a house that deals with endings and introspection. This event may feel deeply internal and even subtle on the surface, but its effects can reshape the direction of your goals and the way you approach your connections with others. 12th house eclipses often ask for release of old habits, attachments, or illusions, so that something more aligned with your soul's purpose can emerge. With the sun transiting your 12th house, your attention naturally shifts inward. You may find yourself craving solitude, reflection, or time away from your usual environment. Foreign travel, pilgrimages, or retreats can become appealing or even necessary. Since the 12th house is also associated with rest, sleep, and the subconscious mind, dreams or intuitive insights could become unusually vivid during this period. Because the sun is eclipsed, you might initially feel drained, unclear about your direction, or disconnected from your usual sources of motivation. This temporary dimming serves to help you break free from patterns that no longer serve your growth. The eclipse occurs in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, symbolized by the back legs of a bed and linked to commitments, agreements, and enduring support. In your case, this suggests that promises or responsibilities you've taken on, especially those connected to your social circles or long-term aspirations, may need review. The 12th house connection suggests that some of these obligations may be quietly dissolved or restructured, particularly if they have been burdensome or misaligned with your spiritual or emotional needs. The ultimate goal of Uttara Phalguni is not destruction but stabilization. It wants you to preserve what is meaningful while releasing what drains you. Exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo amplifies mental activity and introspection during this eclipse. Mercury rules communication and analysis, and in Virgo it's at its most precise and discerning. Because Mercury is combust and overshadowed by the Sun, its clarity is initially muted. You might overthink situations or struggle to articulate your feelings clearly. Avoid making major decisions or announcements until the eclipse energy stabilizes. The influence of retrograde Saturn in Pisces cannot be overlooked, as Saturn aspects Virgo directly from your 6th house of health, service, and daily work. Saturn retrograde revisits old lessons and responsibilities. Its aspect on your 12th house suggests that any escapist tendencies or unresolved emotional issues will be confronted. Health matters may also come into focus, either your own or those of someone close to you. Saturn's presence encourages discipline, improving routines, setting boundaries around rest and work, and facing unresolved obligations are key themes. Meanwhile, Jupiter transiting Gemini in your 9th house offers a benevolent, guiding influence. The 9th house represents higher wisdom, belief systems, teachers, and long-distance travel. Jupiter here suggests that while the eclipse may feel disorienting at first, opportunities for spiritual growth, study, or mentorship will open. If you've been contemplating further education, philosophical exploration, or an overseas journey, Jupiter's influence could make these options more accessible after the eclipse energy settles. The nodal axis is also shaping this period. Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 11th house suggests detachment or reevaluation of friendships, social circles, and community involvement. Certain friendships or group affiliations may no longer align with your values or aspirations, prompting a quiet withdrawal or shift in your priorities. Meanwhile, Rahu in Aquarius in your 5th house points toward creative exploration, romance, or new passions that may arise as you clear space in your social life. Together, the nodes indicate that stepping back from some collective dynamics could make room for more authentic creative or romantic expressions. Your ruling planet Venus is conjunct Ketu, adding an emotional undertone to these shifts. You may feel nostalgia for past friendships, elder siblings, or social roles, but Ketu's influence suggests that letting go will bring freedom rather than loss. Venus's position can also make you more charitable or inclined to serve others during this time, which aligns well with the 12th house's themes of compassion and spiritual service. Mars transiting Libra in your 1st house gives you energy and drive, but it can also make you more reactive or impatient as the eclipse energy unfolds. You may feel a tension between the Mars-driven desire to take action and the 12th house eclipse's call for reflection. Channeling Mars constructively, through physical exercise, creative work, or disciplined planning, can prevent conflicts or rash moves. Mars's energy also suggests that once the eclipse's haze clears, you will be ready to take bold steps in a new direction. Health and well-being are important considerations. The 12th house governs rest and recovery, so this is not the time to overextend yourself. Listen to your body's signals and allow for periods of retreat if needed. If there are lingering health concerns, particularly related to stress or sleep, this eclipse may bring them to the forefront so you can address them. Practical changes to your routines, inspired by Virgo's analytical energy, will pay long-term dividends. On an emotional level, this eclipse can stir up subconscious fears or old emotional patterns you thought were resolved. This is not meant to destabilize you permanently but to bring awareness to what needs healing. Practicing mindfulness, therapy, or spiritual rituals can help you process these emotions constructively. The eclipse's effects will continue to unfold over the next 6 months, so any insights or challenges that arise now should be viewed as part of a larger cycle of growth. Your 11th house connection through the sun suggests that long-term ambitions may also shift. Goals that once seemed important may lose their appeal, while new aspirations emerge, ones that are more aligned with your authentic values. This is a time to quietly reevaluate your dreams rather than rushing to pursue new ones. As Jupiter supports your 9th house, inspiration for these new ambitions may come through travel, study, or encounters with people from different cultures or belief systems. Financial matters connected to foreign investments, charitable donations, or shared resources could also surface. Be cautious with major financial commitments during the eclipse itself, as the energy can be unpredictable. Wait until after the energy stabilizes to make significant decisions. Overall, the solar eclipse in Virgo is an invitation for you to pause, reflect, and realign your inner world before stepping forward. It may temporarily obscure your sense of direction, but it also clears space for new dreams, healthier connections, and a deeper spiritual perspective. By letting go of outdated friendships, ambitions, or habits, you create room for opportunities that align with your soul's evolution. Over the coming months, you'll find that this period of withdrawal and introspection leads to greater clarity, resilience, and a more purposeful approach to your goals and relationships. For Scorpio, during this solar eclipse period in Virgo, Scorpio individuals are likely to experience profound shifts related to their 11th house matters, which include professional networks, income from career, elder siblings, social circles, and long-term ambitions. The Sun, ruling your 10th house of career and authority, is transiting your 11th house, highlighting the importance of how your professional reputation connects to your gains and social recognition. Solar eclipses mark pivotal turning points, and this one occurring under Uttara Falguni Nakshatra may bring sudden insights or changes regarding your larger dreams and how you interact within your community. You may become more visible within group settings or feel inspired to connect with people who share your ideals. Eclipses also bring temporary instability, so any abrupt shifts in friendships, professional networks, or income streams should be approached with patience and discernment. The exalted Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo amplifies mental clarity and analytical ability. For Scorpio individuals, this combination supports strategic thinking and intelligent communication within your social and professional groups. You may find yourself taking a leadership role in a community or being asked to share your expertise. Collaborative projects, online platforms, or group ventures could present lucrative opportunities. Mercury's sharp energy during an eclipse can also make you overly critical or perfectionistic, so be mindful of your tone and expectations when working with others. Since Virgo energy values practicality and service, efforts toward humanitarian causes or charity work can bring long-term satisfaction and respect from peers. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces is casting its aspect onto Virgo, reinforcing the need for maturity and responsibility in all your 11th house dealings. Saturn's influence suggests that gains might be delayed or require consistent effort. You could feel tested in your friendships or professional alliances. Only genuine and stable connections will endure. If there are people in your circle who drain your energy or do not align with your values, this period may reveal those truths. Saturn's retrograde aspect can also slow down financial growth, but this is a temporary phase that encourages you to refine your long-term goals. Stay disciplined with your finances and investments, especially those connected to group ventures or collective projects. Jupiter's transit through Gemini activates your 8th house of transformation and shared resources. This indicates that your gains could be linked to joint ventures, inheritance, or investments managed with others. Jupiter's benevolent influence can also bring opportunities for profound growth through partnerships or mentorship within your network. It is essential to be transparent and fair in all financial dealings, as Jupiter in the 8th can magnify both blessings and missteps. Combined with the eclipse energy, this is a good time to reassess your long-term strategies for financial security and contribution to collective goals. The presence of Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus and Rahu in Aquarius continues to shape your axis of career and emotional foundations. Ketu in your 10th house can bring detachment or reevaluation of your professional identity, while Venus's involvement suggests a need to balance ambition with harmony and diplomacy. Rahu in Aquarius activates your 4th house of emotional stability and home life, pushing you to find innovative ways to balance public life with personal well-being. These nodal influences, combined with the eclipse, may encourage you to reconsider what kind of legacy or impact you wish to leave through your career and contributions to society. Mars, your ruling planet, is currently transiting Libra in your 12th house, which can make your energy levels fluctuate. This placement encourages you to take a step back from the spotlight occasionally to recharge and plan strategically. While the Sun in the May 11th push you toward active networking and socializing, Mars in the 12th reminds you to balance external pursuits with inner work. Meditation, spiritual retreats, or quiet planning can help you channel Mars's energy productively. Be mindful of impulsive actions or hidden frustrations that could surface unexpectedly, especially within your professional circles. The Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, under which this solar eclipse occurs, is associated with partnership, responsibility, and building lasting structures. For Scorpio individuals, this suggests that commitments made during this period, whether in friendships, collaborations, or social causes, could have long-term implications. Because eclipses obscure the light of the Sun, it is advisable to delay signing significant agreements or launching major initiatives until the eclipse energy stabilizes. Use this time to observe, reflect, and gather insights rather than making hasty decisions. Your communication style during this period may become more authoritative and persuasive, thanks to the Sun's influence. This is an excellent time to present your ideas to groups or speak up in professional meetings, as your words carry weight. Still, be careful not to dominate conversations or dismiss others' viewpoints, as the Virgo energy can make you overly focused on perfection. This is also a favorable time to seek guidance from mentors or elder siblings, as they may offer valuable insights that shape your career or financial path. Emotionally, the eclipse could stir feelings of restlessness or a desire for greater meaning in your friendships and group activities. You might begin questioning whether your current social circles truly reflect your values or if you've outgrown certain connections. Trust that any shifts occurring now are clearing the path for more authentic and supportive relationships. Humanitarian involvement or volunteering can provide a sense of fulfillment and help you channel any unsettled energy into constructive action. Financially, this period encourages cautious optimism. While gains are possible through professional efforts and networking, Saturn's influence suggests they will come through persistence rather than quick wins. Avoid speculative investments or risky group ventures during the eclipse period. Instead, focus on strengthening existing financial structures and seeking long-term stability. The 11th house eclipse invites you to reflect on your broader purpose and the impact you wish to make on your community or society at large. You may feel a pull toward collective service or advocacy for a cause that aligns with your beliefs. Mars in the 12th and Saturn's aspect remind you to balance outer achievements with inner growth, ensuring your ambitions do not overshadow your well-being. Overall, this solar eclipse is a powerful moment for Scorpio individuals to reassess their social and professional connections, financial strategies, and long-term dreams. By embracing discipline, humility, and thoughtful planning, you can navigate temporary uncertainties and emerge with a clearer vision for your future. The combination of exalted Mercury's intellect, Jupiter's wisdom, Saturn's discipline, and the transformative energy of the eclipse makes this a pivotal time to redefine your role in your community and align your ambitions with your higher purpose. For Sagittarius, the upcoming solar eclipse in Virgo is an important turning point, as it occurs in your 10th house of career, authority, reputation, and public life. The Sun, your 9th lord representing Dharma, higher learning, ethics, and long-distance travels, is moving through the 10th house, creating a direct bridge between your higher ideals and the way you manifest them in the world. A solar eclipse in this sector often signals a reevaluation of your professional path or public image. You may experience sudden realizations about your goals, your place in society, or the way others perceive your work. The 10th house is a high visibility area of the chart, and with the Sun here being eclipsed, some existing career structures may dim temporarily, allowing space for a new direction or a fresh understanding of your life purpose. The eclipse takes place under Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, which is associated with commitment, responsibility, and building enduring achievements. For Sagittarius people, this suggests that whatever changes or opportunities arise now in your professional life have long-term implications. This is a moment to ask yourself whether your current work aligns with your moral compass and long-term aspirations. You may feel called to take on a more meaningful role or to refine your skills to better serve your purpose. Uttara Phalguni's energy favors steady, disciplined action. Success will come through responsibility and consistent effort rather than quick or flashy gains. Exalted Mercury is conjunct the Sun in Virgo, sharpening your intellect and analytical abilities in career matters. This pairing allows you to evaluate your professional situation with clarity and precision. You may find yourself improving your communication with supervisors, colleagues, or clients. It's an excellent time to refine your public image, update your resume, or develop skills that enhance your professional competence. Because eclipses bring temporary instability, avoid making impulsive decisions or signing major agreements during the exact eclipse period. Use Mercury's discernment to gather facts and plan strategically instead of rushing forward. Retrograde Saturn's aspect from Pisces onto Virgo brings a layer of seriousness and responsibility. Saturn's influence reminds you that your professional growth depends on consistent discipline, humility, and patience. This could feel like a test of your commitment to your long-term goals. Some Sagittarius individuals may experience delays or restrictions in career advancement, or encounter challenges from authority figures. Rather than seeing these as setbacks, view them as opportunities to strengthen your foundation. Saturn's retrograde aspect can also bring reflections about your work-life balance, your family responsibilities, and your emotional well-being while pursuing professional success. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is currently transiting Gemini in your 7th house of partnerships, adding an important relational component to your career focus. Opportunities for growth and recognition may come through collaborations, business alliances, or the support of mentors. Partnerships formed or strengthened during this time could play a key role in your professional advancement. Jupiter's expansive energy in the 7th also suggests that wisdom can be found through negotiation and cooperation. Listening to others may reveal solutions or possibilities you hadn't considered. Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 9th house may lead you to question traditional beliefs, educational paths, or guidance from mentors. You might feel detached from certain philosophical or spiritual frameworks you once embraced. At the same time, Rahu in Aquarius in your 3rd house urges you to explore new methods of communication, networking, and learning. This could be an excellent time to embrace modern technologies, online platforms, or new intellectual pursuits to support your professional goals. These influences suggest that your worldview and career are being reshaped simultaneously, and you are being asked to integrate fresh insights into your life direction. Mars, currently transiting Libra in your 11th house, adds energy to your social networks and long-term aspirations. You may feel driven to expand your connections or work harder toward your ambitions. Mars's position suggests that your friends or professional contacts could become active participants in your progress. Mars can also introduce competition or conflicts within groups, so be careful not to let ego clashes disrupt your plans. Use Mars's assertive energy to champion collective goals or to advocate for yourself in professional circles. Emotionally, the solar eclipse may stir feelings of uncertainty about your place in the world or whether you are on the right path. It's normal to feel unsettled during eclipses, as they often uncover hidden truths or redirect our focus. This is an excellent period for introspection. Reflect on whether your work genuinely reflects your values and whether your public image aligns with your inner self. Over the coming weeks, the clarity you gain could inspire meaningful steps toward a more authentic and fulfilling career. Family dynamics may also surface during this time, especially in relation to authority figures or your father. The 10th house is associated with paternal energy, and the sun is the natural significator of father suggests that events involving a parent or a mentor could be significant. You may feel called to step into greater responsibility within your family or to resolve old tensions related to authority. Financially, gains are possible, particularly through steady effort and professional visibility. Saturn's influence advises caution with large financial commitments or sudden career moves. If you are considering a major investment or business change, take time to research and plan carefully. Spiritually, this period invites you to align your work with your dharma, the deeper purpose your soul seeks to fulfill. Sagittarius is a sign naturally connected to higher wisdom and ethical principles. The sun ruling your 9th house reminds you that your career is not just about status or income but about living in accordance with your beliefs. The eclipse in Virgo, a sign of service and precision, asks you to consider how your professional life can contribute meaningfully to others. In the weeks following the eclipse, you may notice doors opening in your career or new responsibilities being offered. While the initial period around the eclipse may feel destabilizing, the long-term result could be a clearer sense of direction and a stronger foundation for success. Trust that any temporary confusion is part of a greater realignment toward your true path. With Mercury's exalted wisdom, Saturn's discipline, Jupiter's blessings, and Mars's energy all active in your chart, you have the tools to navigate this period thoughtfully. Stay grounded, avoid impulsive actions, and remain open to insights and opportunities that can shape your future for the better. This solar eclipse is a significant moment to step into greater responsibility, refine your ambitions, and connect your professional life with your higher ideals. For Capricorn, the solar eclipse in Virgo takes place in your 9th house of higher knowledge, philosophy, long-distance travel, spirituality, and mentors. Since the sun rules your 8th house of transformation, shared resources, hidden matters, and sudden changes, this eclipse blends themes of deep inner change with the search for wisdom and purpose. The 9th house represents your belief systems and moral compass, and with the sun being eclipsed here, you may feel the need to reevaluate your convictions and the guiding principles you live by. This could be a period of questioning traditional teachings, reassessing your educational path, or exploring new cultures and philosophies that inspire your growth. You may find yourself drawn toward different religious or spiritual practices, or you could experience a shift in perspective brought on by travel or contact with people from diverse backgrounds. The solar eclipse occurring under Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra emphasizes responsibility, duty, and building something lasting. For Capricorn individuals, this nakshatra energy urges you to take a mature and structured approach to your higher pursuits. Perhaps you have been searching for greater meaning or wondering how to align your professional and spiritual life. This is a time to ground your ideals into practical action. If you have been neglecting your education or spiritual practices, circumstances may arise that encourage you to recommit or choose a new direction. Because eclipses tend to obscure clarity temporarily, it's important to avoid making life-changing decisions during the exact eclipse window. Use this period for reflection and observation instead. The sun's conjunction with exalted Mercury in Virgo sharpens your intellect and capacity for analysis. You may feel inspired to study a subject more deeply or to communicate your beliefs with greater precision. This combination is particularly beneficial for Capricorns involved in teaching, publishing, writing, or law, as Mercury's exaltation supports clear and logical expression. It's an excellent time for planning higher studies, workshops, or sharing knowledge with others. The eclipse energy may initially make your thoughts scattered or bring a temporary lack of confidence, so be patient as clarity returns in the days following the event. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces is casting its aspect on Virgo, creating a sense of seriousness and perhaps some pressure around your 9th house matters. Saturn's influence may make you question your current path or feel tested in your faith. It can also delay or complicate travel, higher education plans, or relationships with teachers and mentors. While this may seem frustrating, Saturn's lessons are about building resilience and ensuring your foundations are solid. Any challenges you face now are opportunities to strengthen your philosophical outlook and long-term plans. If you are considering advanced studies, publishing work, or spiritual commitments, Saturn's aspect reminds you that consistent effort and discipline will bring the most lasting rewards. Jupiter is currently transiting Gemini in your 6th house of service, daily work, and health. This placement supports personal growth through routine responsibilities and practical problem solving. Jupiter's blessings here suggest that even as you expand your philosophical or spiritual horizons, you will find meaning in serving others and improving your daily life. This transit can also bring mentors or guides through your workplace or encourage you to learn skills that enhance your efficiency. The combination of Jupiter in the 6th and the eclipse in your 9th highlights the need to balance idealism with grounded, actionable steps. Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 8th house can bring detachment from shared resources or emotional entanglements. You may feel less dependent on external validation or financial support and more inclined to seek your own independence. Rahu in Aquarius in your 2nd house of values and resources encourages innovation in how you handle finances and self-worth. This axis suggests that as you transform your beliefs and expand your horizons, you are also redefining what you value materially and spiritually. There may be opportunities to use your unique insights or skills to create new sources of income or to build a more stable financial foundation. Mars in Libra is currently transiting your 10th house of career and public life. This adds a dynamic energy to your professional sphere, pushing you to take action or assert yourself in career matters. While your focus may be on philosophical and spiritual themes, Mars reminds you not to neglect your professional responsibilities. It can be a favorable time for pursuing leadership roles or taking on ambitious projects, but be cautious about conflicts with authority figures or colleagues. Combining Mars's drive with Saturn's discipline and Mercury's analytical skill can help you make thoughtful and effective choices for your career. Emotionally, this solar eclipse may stir a sense of restlessness or a desire for something greater beyond your current circumstances. You might feel called to seek wisdom from a mentor or to become a guide for others yourself. The 9th house governs ethics and law, so some Capricorns may find themselves involved in legal matters or advocacy for a cause they believe in. This could also be a time of reconnecting with family traditions or cultural roots, while integrating new philosophies into your life. In relationships, shifts in beliefs or goals could influence your partnerships. If you are in a committed relationship, discussions about shared values, long-term goals, or spiritual practices may come to the forefront. Single Capricorns may feel drawn to people who inspire them intellectually or spiritually. Because eclipses bring hidden truths to light, some unexpected revelations in relationships or friendships are possible, which can ultimately lead to deeper understanding and authenticity. Travel is another theme of the 9th house. You may feel a strong pull toward distant journeys or cultural exploration, whether physical or intellectual. With Saturn's aspect and the eclipse energy, travel plans may be delayed, revised, or require extra planning. Any journeys you undertake now are likely to be deeply transformative, offering insights that shift your perspective on life. Spiritually, this is a powerful moment for deepening your connection to higher wisdom. Practices like meditation or study of sacred texts can bring meaningful insights. The eclipse may temporarily obscure clarity, but it is ultimately clearing the way for a more authentic spiritual path. As your beliefs evolve, you may find yourself letting go of outdated teachings or adopting new philosophies that resonate with your soul's growth. Financially, the Sun's connection to your 8th house indicates that joint finances or investments may come under review. You could be rethinking how shared resources are managed or considering new ways to align your financial choices with your values. Avoid making significant financial commitments during the eclipse itself, but use the insights you gain to plan for the future. Overall, this solar eclipse in Virgo represents an invitation to step beyond your comfort zone and embrace growth in both your inner and outer worlds. It calls you to refine your beliefs, strengthen your connection to wisdom, and take responsibility for the legacy you are building. By combining Capricorn's natural discipline with Virgo's analytical precision, you can navigate these shifts with maturity and purpose. In the weeks following the eclipse, clarity will return, revealing opportunities for personal and spiritual development that align with your higher calling. For Aquarius, the solar eclipse in Virgo takes place in your 8th house of transformation, shared resources, deep psychological patterns, and hidden matters. Since the Sun rules your 7th house of relationships, business partnerships, and contracts, this eclipse signals an intense period where shared bonds, financial entanglements, and emotional vulnerabilities may be brought to light. The 8th house is where profound change occurs. Old patterns die so that new ones can be born, and with the Sun eclipsed here, You may feel a temporary loss of clarity in matters involving joint finances, inheritances, or your most intimate connections. It's a time when old ways of relating or depending on others may be stripped away, pushing you toward greater independence and self-understanding. The eclipse falling in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra adds a karmic and dutiful tone to these transformations. Uttara Phalguni is associated with commitments, responsibility, and the fulfillment of promises. For Aquarius, this can indicate situations where you must uphold your integrity in financial matters or follow through on emotional commitments, even if circumstances feel unsettled. It is also a reminder to take a long-term view rather than reacting impulsively to sudden changes. If certain relationships or agreements are no longer serving your growth, the eclipse may bring realizations that help you release what's no longer necessary, but it also calls you to honor your existing duties with wisdom. The Sun's conjunction with exalted Mercury in Virgo sharpens the mental and analytical energy surrounding these themes. Mercury here encourages you to think critically about shared resources, investments, debts, or taxes. It's an excellent period for researching financial strategies or understanding the deeper motivations behind your relationships. During the eclipse itself, avoid signing contracts or making irreversible financial moves. The days following the eclipse will offer clearer insight. Mercury's exaltation also suggests that even challenging information or unexpected revelations will ultimately serve to clarify your path and bring practical solutions. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces aspects Virgo, adding weight and seriousness to 8th house matters. Saturn's gaze may feel like a testing period. Issues around trust, boundaries, or long-term security could come into sharper focus. You might be called to examine whether your shared financial arrangements or emotional bonds are sustainable. Saturn also emphasizes health, particularly psychological and emotional well-being. The 8th house governs deep-seated fears and transformative healing, so this could be an important time to face unresolved issues, perhaps through therapy, meditation, or inner work. Saturn's retrograde motion suggests revisiting past situations or karmic lessons, giving you a chance to restructure your approach with maturity. Jupiter's transit through Gemini in your 5th house offers a supportive influence. The 5th house governs creativity, self-expression, and joy, and Jupiter's presence here can provide optimism and inspiration, even amid the intensity of 8th house changes. Jupiter's aspect to your 1st house helps you remain hopeful and open to learning from the transformations occurring now. This placement also suggests that love, children, or creative projects can become sources of wisdom or healing, balancing the more challenging energies of the eclipse. Jupiter in Gemini encourages you to seek knowledge and share your insights, which can be especially powerful for Aquarians engaged in teaching, writing, or spiritual communities. Ketu in Leo conjunct Venus in your 7th house indicates detachment or reevaluation within partnerships. Some relationships may feel less fulfilling or require adjustments in how affection and loyalty are expressed. Rahu in your sign, Aquarius, pulls your focus toward personal growth and self-discovery. You may feel a strong urge to break free from old relational patterns and redefine your independence. The eclipse energy in the 8th house works hand in hand with this axis, urging you to release control or dependency and to step into a more authentic version of yourself. Mars is currently transiting Libra in your 9th house, energizing your beliefs, long-distance travel, and higher education. Mars in the 9th can bring assertive discussions about philosophy, spirituality, or global issues, which could intersect with the transformations happening in your financial and emotional world. Be cautious of heated debates or impulsive decisions during this period, but allow Mars's drive to help you take decisive action where needed, especially after the eclipse dust settles. On a personal level, the Sun's transit through your 8th house can make you more introspective and aware of life's impermanence. Health matters may also surface, especially if you've been ignoring warning signs. The 8th house is linked to chronic conditions and psychological stress, so this is a good time to prioritize self-care, detoxification, or a more holistic approach to health. Emotional healing and addressing deep-seated fears or traumas can bring profound growth. This eclipse may act as a catalyst for inner work that transforms your relationship with power, control, and vulnerability. In relationships, secrets or unspoken truths could emerge, prompting necessary conversations or shifts. While this might initially feel unsettling, the revelations can ultimately lead to greater honesty and trust. Business partnerships may also undergo changes. Review joint ventures or financial commitments carefully. If you are married or in a committed relationship, you and your partner may need to revisit how you handle shared responsibilities or resources. Singles may be drawn to intense, magnetic connections now, but should be cautious not to rush into commitments during eclipse season. Financially, the 8th house rules inheritances, loans, taxes, and investments. Unexpected changes in these areas are possible. You may need to renegotiate agreements, review insurance policies, or reassess how you manage debts and assets. Avoid large financial decisions or speculative investments until after the eclipse, when the energy stabilizes and Mercury's exalted clarity returns. This period can reveal hidden opportunities or risks you were previously unaware of, so approach with patience and a keen eye for detail. Spiritually, the 8th house eclipse opens doors to deeper wisdom. Occult studies, astrology, psychology, or metaphysical subjects may call to you more strongly. Practices like meditation, shadow work, or energy healing can help you process and integrate the shifts taking place. The eclipse's temporary darkness symbolizes the shedding of outdated beliefs or fears, paving the way for profound renewal. Embracing change, even when uncomfortable, will allow you to emerge with greater resilience and understanding. Overall, this solar eclipse in Virgo is a powerful moment of rebirth and awakening for Aquarius individuals. It asks you to face hidden truths, release dependencies, and transform your approach to partnerships, finances, and emotional intimacy. While the process may feel intense, the presence of exalted Mercury, Jupiter's supportive influence, and Saturn's grounding aspect ensures that the changes you make now can lead to lasting growth. By allowing old patterns to fall away and welcoming new perspectives, you can align yourself more deeply with your higher purpose and emerge stronger, wiser, and more empowered. For Pisces, the solar eclipse occurs in Virgo in your 7th house, the sector of marriage, committed partnerships, business alliances, and public interactions. Since the Sun rules your 6th house of work, health, service, and daily routines, its eclipse in the 7th house suggests a pivotal period where personal relationships and professional collaborations undergo significant evaluation and transformation. The Sun represents authority, vitality, and ego, and during a solar eclipse, these themes are temporarily dimmed to reveal what has been hidden beneath the surface. This is a time for Pisces individuals to assess whether their relationships are balanced, supportive, and aligned with their long-term vision. For some, there may be sudden realizations about a partner's needs or their own role in a partnership, prompting adjustments that create a healthier dynamic. The 7th house is not only about romantic partnerships but also about contracts, clients, and competitors. Business matters may come to the forefront, especially if you are self-employed or engaged in negotiations. This eclipse can bring clarity about which partnerships are worth investing in and which may need to be restructured or released. While it might feel destabilizing at first, the eclipse energy is ultimately guiding you toward relationships and agreements that are more authentic and sustainable. If you are single, this period could bring encounters with people who challenge your existing perceptions of commitment and intimacy. If you are married or in a long-term partnership, conversations about responsibilities, boundaries, or shared goals may be unavoidable and ultimately healing. The eclipse falls in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, a lunar mansion symbolizing duty, responsibility, and the fulfillment of commitments. This nakshatra emphasizes fairness, integrity, and long-term stability. For Pisces individuals, this can manifest as situations where you are called to honor promises or reevaluate how you uphold your commitments in marriage or business. Uttara Phalguni energy reminds you to build connections on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Even if uncomfortable truths surface, they serve to strengthen your bonds by aligning them with higher values. Adding another layer, the Sun is conjunct exalted Mercury in Virgo during the eclipse. Mercury's exaltation amplifies discernment, analysis, and communication. This is a powerful time for honest dialogue with partners or collaborators. Mercury's presence also supports business strategy, negotiation, and problem solving. Because eclipses can cloud clarity, it's wise to avoid making irreversible decisions or signing important contracts on the eclipse day itself. Use this period for reflection and information gathering, and wait a few days before taking decisive action. Exalted Mercury ensures that, once the eclipse energy stabilizes, you will have the mental clarity to make well-informed choices. Retrograde Saturn in Pisces aspects Virgo from your 1st house, adding seriousness and karmic weight to these developments. Saturn's aspect to the 7th house often tests the durability of partnerships and the strength of commitments. You may feel pressure to take responsibility for your actions in relationships or to confront patterns that have been undermining harmony. Saturn retrograde suggests revisiting past relationship dynamics or unfinished business, giving you a chance to apply wisdom gained from previous experiences. While Saturn's influence may feel restrictive or heavy, it is also protective. It encourages you to build lasting structures in your personal and professional life rather than relying on fleeting circumstances. Jupiter is currently transiting Gemini in your 4th house. This placement may also suggest that family or domestic matters play a role in your relationship decisions. Jupiter's expansive energy helps you see the bigger picture, reminding you that the transformations occurring now are part of your soul's growth. It encourages you to approach conflicts or adjustments with compassion, curiosity, and a willingness to learn. The nodal axis, Rahu in Aquarius and Ketu in Leo, adds further complexity. Rahu in your 12th house pushes you towards spiritual growth, solitude, and self-awareness, while Ketu in your 6th house conjunct Venus points to detachment from unhealthy work habits, routines, or patterns of service that have drained your energy. Together, these nodes ask you to balance your need for external partnerships with your inner world and spiritual development. You may find that stepping back from codependent dynamics or overly transactional relationships allows you to cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections. The Sun's transit through your 7th house also highlights how you project yourself publicly. For Pisces individuals who run their own businesses or work closely with clients, this is a time to reassess your professional image, customer relationships, or contractual obligations. The eclipse could bring opportunities to renegotiate terms or explore new partnerships that align more closely with your values. If you've been overextending yourself in service to others, a common Pisces trait, this transit encourages you to establish healthier boundaries. Recognizing your worth and ensuring reciprocity in partnerships will be essential. Health and work-related matters may indirectly influence your relationships now, as the Sun rules your 6th house. Stress or imbalances in your daily routine could spill into your interactions with others. Pay attention to how lifestyle choices, workload, or health concerns are impacting your partnerships. This is a good time to seek balance between personal wellness and shared responsibilities. You might consider new wellness practices, dietary adjustments, or time management strategies to support both your health and your relationships. Spiritually, the 7th house eclipse invites you to see relationships as mirrors of your own growth. Conflicts or challenges now can reveal areas where you need to strengthen self-worth, communication skills, or emotional resilience. Pisces individuals are naturally compassionate and intuitive, but sometimes this sensitivity can lead to overgiving or neglecting their own needs. The eclipse asks you to engage in partnerships as an equal, where giving and receiving are balanced. In the days and weeks following the eclipse, you may notice shifts in how you perceive others and how they perceive you. Partnerships that have a strong foundation will likely deepen, while those built on shaky ground may fade or transform. Even temporary disruptions serve a greater purpose, to align you with the people and agreements that truly support your path. With exalted Mercury offering analytical clarity and Jupiter providing emotional wisdom, you are well supported to navigate these shifts thoughtfully. Overall, this solar eclipse in Virgo marks a transformative chapter for Pisces individuals in the area of relationships, business collaborations, and public interactions. While the eclipse may temporarily obscure your direction, it ultimately reveals the adjustments needed to create partnerships that are fair, fulfilling, and aligned with your higher purpose. By approaching changes with patience, honesty, and a willingness to grow, you can emerge from this period with stronger bonds, healthier boundaries, and a clearer understanding of the role relationships play in your spiritual and emotional evolution. As we conclude this episode, please keep in mind that these insights are based on the sidereal zodiac system used in Vedic astrology, which differs from the tropical system by approximately 24 degrees. These are general predictions, and outcomes will vary depending on your individual birth chart. The influence of transits is deeply shaped by your ongoing dasha periods and the specific placement of planets in your natal chart. What may be a time of progress for one person could mark a period of reflection or challenge for another. This is why it's essential to interpret transits within the context of your unique chart. If you're seeking a more personalized understanding of how current transits may impact you, or if you have specific questions about your birth chart, feel free to reach out to us. If you found this content helpful, please consider liking the video, sharing it with others who may benefit, and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Thank you for watching. We look forward to continuing to share deeper astrological insights with you. Until next time, stay aware, keep learning, and keep shining bright.